Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and this is your AM Update.
This is a moment for Cash and Dan to really stand up. It's not enough to leak this at the end of the 4th of July weekend. You've got to come forward.
A shock announcement by the Trump DOJ and FBI on the apparent conclusion of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
There was, 200 kids looking to someone for some sort of comfort and safety. They were dealing with some of the worst times of their lives, and they were staying strong.
A look inside a Coast Guard service member's stunning rescue mission at Camp Mystic in Texas. Details from a new leaked memo sent by senior Biden advisors urging then-President Biden to accept an early debate against then-candidate Trump. They thought that would be a swell idea. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update. It wasn't supposed to get this bad. Remember the time when you actually were on top of your bills? Then inflation hit, groceries, gas, everything shot up, prices up 26% from just a few years ago. It's not necessarily your fault if you have fallen into real debt. Let me share a smarter, faster, far easier way out of it. It's called Done with Debt, and they are not like other debt relief companies. They don't push loans or bankruptcy on you. Done with Debt has legendary negotiators who go head-to-head with your credit card and loan companies, and they have one goal: to drastically reduce or eliminate your debt altogether. They move lightning fast. Most clients see more money in their pocket month one. But a word to the wise, hurry, because some of their debt erasing strategies are time sensitive. So consider talking to a Done with Debt strategist before you make another bill payment. It's free. Visit donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Many in MAGA world deeply disappointed in the Trump administration following a late Sunday evening news dump concluding there is no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered. Axios obtaining a brief DOJ and FBI joint memo that states the files relating to Epstein do include a large volume of images of Epstein's victims and more than 10,000 files containing child sexual abuse material, only a fraction of which would have been made public had Epstein gone to trial due to its sensitive nature. However, the memo noting, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." More from the memo, quote, "One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the DOJ and the FBI that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted." The memo concluding with links to two versions of lengthy security cam footage said to be from outside Epstein's cell block, one raw, one digitally altered for clarity. The DOJ and FBI saying the nearly 11 hours of footage taken outside of the cell block on the night of Epstein's death proves no one entered the area in those critical hours. In response to the memo, MAGA influencers recirculating videos of Attorney General Pam Bondi on Fox earlier this year, teasing new information about the Epstein client list.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed.
That was February 21st. The Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, she said. As of July 6th, there is no client list. On February 26th, Ms. Bondi went on with Fox's Jesse Waters. Here's what she told him.
One of the things a lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look
with
for
his
that.
co-defendant.
Absolutely. And he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
The next day, Bondi calling a group of conservative influencers to the White House in a meeting that was reportedly attended by Bondi, FBI head Kash Patel, and the vice president, handing out binders labeled The Epstein Files, Phase 1, which the influencers were then filmed showing off outside the White House, believing they contained new information. Turned out it was recycled, already public information, leading many to wonder why Bondi would embarrass some of the president's most loyal supporters. That night, then counselor to the president, Alina Habba, who would officially join the DOJ just weeks later, doubling down that the administration has flight logs and client names.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out. There were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. And I really believe that now with Kash and Pam, there will be accountability.
After the influencer debacle, Ms. Bondi expressed anger, claiming the FBI had allegedly withheld documents from her, but promising there would be another release. In March, Ms. Bondi saying officials were poring over a truckload of previously withheld evidence received from the FBI, accusing the Biden administration of sitting on these documents because they did not believe in transparency. Then, late Sunday, left-leaning outlet Axios with its scoop. The DOJ and FBI in an unsigned memo announcing no more documents or proof would be forthcoming, claiming, in fact, there is none. No one to indict, no names to release, no client list, and no evidence that he blackmailed prominent associates. The DOJ reporting that its Epstein files do include more than 10,000 videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and, quote, other pornography, none of which they say will be released. That came as a surprise to some working on Epstein-related cases who say they did not know of these images, and neither Epstein nor partner Ghislaine Maxwell were charged with possession of child sex abuse material. On Monday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked by Fox News' Peter Doocy about AG Bondi's reversal on the existence of an Epstein client list. After a quick attempt to suggest Ms. Bondi did not mean what she clearly said, Leavitt bounced past all questions to the DOJ.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
The DOJ later adopting Leavitt's defense, suggesting Bondi only ever meant to suggest she was reviewing Epstein materials, not an actual client list. As private citizens, FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino raised questions about the handling of the Epstein investigation, though since joining the administration, both Patel and Bongino have remained adamant that all available evidence points to suicide. The Daily Wire's Andrew Klavan on Monday's Megyn Kelly Show saying Trump administration officials have a duty to share more with the public about why their assessments have changed since joining the administration.
This is extremely upsetting. I mean, I'm a big Dan Bongino fan. I judge him to be a man of integrity who really is committed to doing the right thing. I've met Kash Patel, but I don't know Kash Patel, but I've always been favorably impressed by him. So if there's no list of people who did things, are there no witnesses? Some of these women have come forward and said, I was raped again and again. Well, by whom? Did you recognize the person? Can you identify him in a photo array? Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years. Is there no deal that she would accept to get less prison time and come on and say, yeah, let me tell you who I brought into this island? I'm not satisfied with you saying, Pam Bondi misspoke or whatever the hell she did when she said, yes, yes, this list is on my desk. All right, so there's no list, but is there no way of attaining names and information from the people who were victimized? I mean, this thing has been covered up so completely. This is not holding together. And I think a guy of the quality of Dan Bongino should be coming forward with it. This is a moment for Cash and Dan to really stand up. It's not enough to leak this at the end of the 4th of July weekend. You've got to come forward and tell me why you cannot get the names of people from the people who were abused.
We've reached out to the FBI for an interview, but we were told that neither Director Patel nor Deputy Director Bongino are making themselves available at this time. Coming up, Texas rescue crews forging ahead as continuing rainfall threatens to bring more flooding as dozens remain missing. And border czar Tom Homan has a message for New York City's Democratic nominee for mayor. I've been talking a lot about Riverbend Ranch steaks lately, and for good reason. The ranch is just a few miles from West Yellowstone, Montana, where we go in the wintertime, and their steaks are so flavorful and surprisingly tender. Even someone like me, who does not know how to cook, can make it taste delicious. It's thanks to the quality of the beef. A lot of our listeners have been writing in, sharing similar feedback. Abigail Finan will not stop talking about Riverbend Ranch, and I feel the same. So these guys raise Angus cattle, but they've taken it even further. For 35 years now, more than 3 decades, the owner has selectively bred Angus cattle with superior genetics for marbling and tenderness. It's all about the marbling and the tenderness, creating a herd that truly stands out. Their beef is born, raised, and processed too entirely inside America without artificial growth hormones or antibiotics. And it is shipped directly from the ranch to your door. Riverbend Ranch is not just another beef company. It's a legacy of quality care and craftsmanship that you can taste in every bite. Order from riverbendranch.com. Use the promo code Megyn for $20 off your first order, and you'll be eating the same steak that my family and I eat at night. And let me know what you think. riverbendranch.com, promo code Megyn. The death toll rising in central Texas. At least 89 now confirmed dead in what is one of the deadliest floods in 100 years. Camp Mystic, the popular girls' Christian camp nestled along the Guadalupe River, confirming Monday morning 27 campers and counselors did not survive. 10 campers and 1 counselor still unaccounted for. Rescue crews working around the clock as the historic rainfall continues, threatening additional flooding. Some of the confirmed dead include 18-year-old Camp Mystic counselor Chloe Childress, described by her head of school as wise beyond her years, with a, quote, selfless and fierce commitment to others. 8-year-old Sarah Marsh from Alaska, a Camp Mystic camper. Sarah's grandmother, Debbie Ford, posting on Facebook, quote, "We will always feel blessed to have had this beautiful, spunky ray of light in our lives. She will live on in our hearts forever." 8-year-old twins Hannah and Rebecca Lawrence from Dallas. Their grandfather, Dave Lawrence, gave an interview to the Miami Herald, quote, "It has been an unimaginable time for all of us. Hannah and Rebecca gave their parents, John and Lacey, and sister Harper, and all in our family so much joy. They and that joy can never be forgotten." About 750 girls arriving at Camp Mystic, anticipating a summer of fun and worship along the river. This video capturing the spirit of the campers, taken by a nurse on a bus during their evacuation. The young girls singing worship songs as they survey the devastation surrounding them.
I'll shout it from the mountaintops. Praise God. I want my world to know the Lord of love has come to me. I want to pass it on. I'll shout it from the mountaintops. Praise God. I want my world to know the Lord of love has come to me. I want to pass it on.
Amid the chaos, so many stories of heroism, more than 20 federal, state, and local agencies deploying amidst the worst of the storms, rescuing more than 850 people as they fought for their lives against the rushing water. Coast Guard rescue swimmer Petty Officer Scott Ruskin, credited with saving 165 people from the devastating flooding, and get this, on his first ever rescue mission. Petty Officer Ruskin speaking out Monday on ABC.
They sent us out. We kind of encountered some pretty serious weather, some of the worst flying we've ever dealt with personally. We decided to leave me on scene at Camp Mystic. That was kind of our main triage site we were trying to help out with. I got on scene, boots on the ground at Camp Mystic, and kind of discovered I was the only person there as far as like first responders go. So yeah, I had about 200 kids mostly. All scared, terrified, cold, having probably the worst day of their life, and I just kind of needed to triage them, get them to a higher level of care. I was kind of the main guy as far as like grabbing people, usually like 15 to 10 kids at a time, maybe one adult with them, and bringing them over to those 60s and getting them to a different LZ that was kind of safe and had more first responders than just myself out there. You know, when I got on scene, there was 200 kids looking to someone for some sort of comfort and safety. They don't really know what my experience is or my rank or my age. They just know, hey, this guy's a professional and he's here to help us, and I kind of had to live up to that standard. The real heroes, I think, were the kids on the ground. Like, those guys are heroic, and they were dealing with some of the worst times of their lives, and they were staying strong, and that helped inspire me to kind of get in there and help them out.
Politico publishing a memo from senior Biden advisors pitching President Biden on challenging then-candidate Trump to a debate much earlier in the election cycle than is typical. The memo, obtained by journalists Joss Dawsey, Tyler Pager, and Isaac Arnsdorf in their new book, 2024, How Trump Retook the White House and the Democrats Lost America. Flashback to March of last year, Mr. Trump began challenging President Biden to debate, quote, anytime, anywhere. Mr. Trump doubling down on the challenge throughout the spring. Here, just one example in April from outside his New York City trial.
I just want to say that I've invited Biden to debate. He can do it anytime he wants, including tonight. I'm ready. Here we are.
The 6-page memo dated April 15th, 2024, pitching Mr. Biden on ditching the autumn debate schedule traditionally set by the Commission on Presidential Debates. Throughout the memo, all references to Mr. Biden are typed out in all capital, bolded letters. Quote, your senior advisors continue to recommend you debate and prepare to debate earlier in the cycle. Mr. Biden's advisors pitching the plan to, quote, set the terms of debate to work best for you so you enter the debate process from a position of strength. The advisors mentioning the Trump campaign also wanted to begin the debates earlier, quote, to ensure more Americans have a full chance to see the candidates before they start voting. The Biden memo pitching Mr. Biden on 2 debates against Mr. Trump, one in June, one in September. On May 15th, President Biden posting a video to YouTube formally challenging President Trump.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald.
The 14-second clip, stitched together with 5 edits, a dark omen of what was to come. On June 27th, more than 50 million people tuned in to witness the beginning of the end of President Biden's 2024 campaign.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
The authors of this latest Biden expose out today, telling Politico's playbook, support for an early debate was not unanimous among the president's aides. Some advisors reportedly felt Mr. Biden might do better not to debate at all. Betty wishes he had listened. New York City's Democrat nominee in the mayoral election, 33-year-old Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani, shaping up to be a political foil to border czar Tom Homan. Mamdani, a devout progressive in the vein of AOC, repeatedly vowing as mayor to cut off cooperation with ICE officials.
And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism, to stop mass ICE agents from deporting our neighbors.
I'm not going to be working alongside the Trump administration to build the single largest deportation force in American history. The NYPD's job is to create public safety in the city, not to assist ICE agents in their mission to attack the very fabric of this city.
Homan responding Monday at the White House.
Good luck on that, because we're going to be in New York City, and President Trump said it 2 weeks ago. We're going to double down, triple down in sanctuary cities. If they don't let us arrest a bad guy in the county jail, they're going to arrest him in the community. We're going to arrest him at a work site. So we're going to increase community operation. We're going to increase work site enforcement operation. We're going to get the bad guys. So if they don't want to help, get out of the way. We're coming to do it.
On July 4th, President Trump signing the One Big Beautiful Bill, securing $165 billion in new funding for the Department of Homeland Security, including funds to hire 10,000 new ICE agents. Mayor Eric Adams, running for re-election as an independent, is warning Mamdani not to interfere with ICE or any other federal agency, promising that he, Adams, will work with the feds when it comes to criminal enforcement. And that'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the Megyn Kelly Show, live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.